I mean, really, that's where the berm led. It kind of gave you sort of that pinch off effect. So again, if this was not a sand corner, those guys really don't make contact. I think Roczen would have even seen a little bit, maybe would have checked up a little bit. What's up, everybody? It's Dave Drakes with the Collective Experience, and we are back for another TCE Foul Plugs Moto show. I think you recognize the guy who's next to me, virtually next to me, that is. It's the one, it's the only Mr. Brad Gebhart of Big MX Radio. Brad, what's up, dude? How you doing?
Oh, Dave, it's so great to finally see your face. I feel like I could reach out and touch you, my friend. But alas, we are once again about 12 to 15 hours apart, driving-wise. I get the short end of that stick because I'm up in the Great White North, the tundra of Canada. But it was only 3 short weeks ago that the two of us, arm in arm, Anaheim won.
Right?
We've had a ton of action since. We're going to talk about it now, but thank you for welcoming me again here on the Foul Plug Show.
Yeah, man. I mean, these are always fun to do, right? And we haven't bench raced in a little bit, so I'm pretty eager to get into it. Being just complete moto buffs, you and myself, we've got a lot of cool racing that we've been able to see. I mean, I don't know about you, but I've been glued to my TV or edge of my seat at the race itself. Really, really stoked on just the amount of just talent, the amount of different runners, the amount of just pandemonium all over the track. Give me your quick run through of how you think the season's gone so far.
Well, first and foremost, it's expect the unexpected. You'll pay for your whole couch, but you'll only need the edge. It's including for the people in the stands. It's been awesome to see full stadiums for the most part. Oakland was a little bit light, but we've been treated to some of the most knockdown, drag-out wars of series in both the 250s and the 450s. We've had a different winner in every single race so far in the 450s.
Yep.
Christian Craig's making it a little bit boring in the 250s, but he added a little bit of zest in there when he happened to go down in the first corner of San Diego, his home race. But of course, his worst performance so far is still a podium. So still pretty strong, and it looks like it's Christian's series to win. But I just think it's amazing the parity in the series right now. You've got as many as 9 or 10 guys all in the same second in qualifying.
Yes.
You've had tons of different guys winning heat races. Like I said earlier, you've had a different person winning each Supercross. You've been on the floor during qualifying with David Pulley, the Collective Experience, getting some vlog stuff, as well as just being in the pits. It's like going back in time, man. It's like 2019 all over again, as far as the vibe and just so much energy around the series. I'm loving it. I'm sure you are as well.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, this reminds me, and I think I've said this before earlier in the season when we've done some of these early breakdowns and season previews. I feel like I'm 12 years old again, and I'm watching a field of 15 to 20 guys out there, privateers included, that could go up there and battle with just about anybody, the front runners, whoever, and it just gives me nostalgia of being able to watch races where there's a bunch of guys that can just wreak havoc and upset points chases, nab a win, to have a breakthrough performance. It's been great. It's so awesome to be a fan of the sport right now. I think it's been even better because we've had a lot of different bike changes for a lot of these guys too. So it's also adding to the excitement and the newness of this brand new season. I feel like the tracks are a little bit different too. We're seeing a lot of big whoops, really gnarly rhythm sections. I mean, the tracks are breaking down a little bit different. I think this is the first time, and you might agree with this, this might be the first time where we actually had a super rutted rhythm section in Anaheim. You know what I mean? So it's really, really cool to see a lot of that shake out, and it's led to some awesome racing so far this season. One of the awesome things that I want to get into is awesome depending on who you're talking about. It's the altercation between a Kawasaki rider of Jason Anderson and Honda's golden boy Ken Roczen. Not looking so golden right now, unfortunately. What was your thoughts on that pass for the lead? Because I mean, I don't think anyone thought that those two would collide like that, and Roczen would get the short end of the stick.
Few things have divided the motocross community in recent history like this pass Anderson on Roczen. And of
Yep.
course, you've got the contingent who are huge fans of Ken Roczen. They love the German. He's the 94 in your program, number one in a lot of people's hearts. He's absolutely lights out there. He's flashy. He shows up to the press conference in a suit. He's a good-looking kid.
Yep.
And honestly, like, he's so Americanized. He's almost like apple pie, really, at this point. People just gobble him up. They love cheering for the guy.
Yeah.
But when you've got someone like that, you've also got to have the heel when it comes to like professional racing. Someone who rocks the boat a little bit. That's Jason Anderson. That's that big green monster claw behind you that might disturb the apple cart every once in a while. And that's exactly what happened this Saturday. And you know what? Like, as much as Jason did own it on the podium as well as in the press conference that he did intend to send it in there, and I think that's exactly what he did.
Yep.
I'm going to tell you this. If it wasn't a sand corner, I don't think they make contact. And if it wasn't a sand corner, I don't think Kenny goes down.
Agreed.
Like, you as well as I know, if you're going into a stand corner, if I was going behind you, even if we were the exact same pace, I'm not going right behind you because I don't need to get sand blasted. That's going to happen enough as it is. So you're going to go, if Kenny's going to commit to the outside, he's going to go inside.
Yes.
So you've got the advantage on the inside. I think that Kenny went in there with a head of steam, and that corner just kept getting tighter. It was a 90-degree corner, and the inside eventually fades to the outside. So those lines came together, and they came together violently, and they resulted in Anderson staying up and Kenny going down. It very well could have ended up terrible for Anderson, but he comes out squeaky clean. In fact, he takes the lead there, leads some laps, and unfortunately doesn't, for the Kawasaki fans out there, doesn't end up winning the race. But I don't think there was any malicious intent there. I think that was an attempt at a pass in a very tricky corner to make a pass in a situation where Ken Roczen probably just shouldn't have gone outside, knowing that maybe the most aggressive, or at least one of the most aggressive riders in modern Supercross is right behind you.
Exactly. And you know what? I definitely agree. If that wasn't a sand corner, I don't think they would have made contact. I will say, I think the line shaped up differently than I thought, and then I think Roczen and Jason Anderson, for that matter, planned on it shaping up. So I'm saying, I guess in practice, the lines were a little bit different, where you had a definite outside like we saw, but the inside kind of kept that arc and stayed pretty much true to its own sort of rut, its own little berm there. So the fact that that inside berm got moved out further and further, I think it kind of caught Jason Anderson off guard a little bit. Yeah, he wanted to run it in there and block him. I don't think
he intended to push that bar wide.
I don't think so. But I mean, really, that's where the berm led. It kind of gave you sort of that pinch off effect. So again, if this was not a sand corner, those guys really don't make contact. I think Roczen would have even seen a little bit, maybe would have checked up a little bit if he saw him that close to his front wheel. I just think it's a matter of two guys going after it and these lines colliding. Yeah, I think Jason Anderson could have used a little bit more caution and maybe slipped over him and like, you know what, let me just move this a little bit more to the inside. Yeah, I can touch him, but I don't want to knock the guy down, right? Which leads me to another question, Brad. If they both would have, if Roczen would have stayed up and maybe just got passed by Jason Anderson, do you think he would have been able to make the pass back, catch him and pull him, lead the rest of the laps himself? Like, what do you think it would have shaped up any differently than it did? Would Eli Tomac still be the winner essentially?
I was calling Eli for a win all week, and then into the day he looked strong, and you just sort of felt like it was coming for Eli. Yeah. Like, obviously we're subject to some recency bias here with Anderson just looking so strong, even at the race where Kenny ended up winning and Anaheim won. Like, the story of that particular night was just how fast Anderson was, as well as how fast Malcolm Stewart was. Yeah. Both ended up going down in that main event, but both looked extremely fast. In fact, I would say I've been more impressed by Jason Anderson at all 4 rounds so far than I have been with Kenny at any one.
Yes.
And that's not something that you've been able to say, even going back to Jason Anderson's championship season. And honestly, this whole thing, I don't think this whole situation with the block pass or the takeout or whatever you want to call it, from this weekend, I think it's amplified a little bit from the fact that this is 2 weekends in a row where Ken Roczen ends up on the ground and it's Jason Anderson putting him there. Did the same thing at the end of the whoops at San Diego. Again, Ken goes a little bit wide there, leaves the door open, goes down. Same idea in this last weekend. A little bit different scenario, obviously, like we talked about, the lines came together.
Yeah.
But I'm of the mind that Anderson and Tomac were both on a mission. I think at the very best, Ken Roczen's looking at a third place podium for his efforts in Anaheim too. And honestly, he would have had his hands full with Chase Sexton. This is the first time in a long time. I think it's the first time since 2003 or 4. I don't know, 2000. It'd been 2003 when both of the Honda contingent, like the two guys at the on the factory team, ended up with Supercross wins. Of course, that being Ricky Carmichael and Nathan Ramsey at Indianapolis. And I guess maybe you could also count 04 when LaRocco won one. So it's very rare to have two guys winning on the same team. Like basically, you have one and 1A on Team Honda. They both got wins so far.
Yeah.
The question, I guess, will be which one of those guys is going to get their next win.
Yeah, exactly. And man, the way that Tomac's been riding and everything like that, the Yamaha just looks like it's all out, just an awesome bike for him, to the point where he's like overshooting things. And just, because the suspension's so tough and because he's Eli Tomac, you don't really notice.
That was amazing. Are you referencing the Instagram video where he overshoots it into the quad and then basically
just keeps going
lands flat? Like, it's about like 85 feet to nothing.
And then there's that, but there's also practice of A1
to make that corner.
Yeah, exactly. But even practice at A1, the guy's overshooting things, and it's like, dude, just go quad it, man. You're halfway there, But he just looks like he's really, really good on that bike right now.
Did you think that there was any ever possibility of seeing guys on that rhythm section? I'm going to spin all the way back to A1, where there was a rhythm section after the set of whoops before the finish, like not the one right after the finish line, the other set, the shorter set, coming out of that rhythm lane. I think there was possibility to go 3, 2 over table, and then quad into the corner, and I can't believe nobody ever did it.
Yeah, I honestly, I think they talked about it in track walk, but it was the jump wasn't peak enough to give you enough of that pop. I think it would have sent you this direction. I think a lot of them were worried about clipping and then getting on the binders in time for the corner. So, granted,
I don't know. It might not have been faster, but it would have been really impressive.
For sure.
I know.
For sure.
I saw Ken go 2 over table, and then go on the backside, and then go 2-2, and I think he went triple single.
Gotcha.
And I think that was his sort of testing that out a little bit, but it did look a little bit. It looked tasty, but I guess we'll move on.
Yeah, it would have been cool to see that. Yeah, I'll let you pick the next topic, Brad, because I can go all day with these topics.
Right. Well, honestly, I think the next thing we need to talk about is the fact that, even though we've had a ton of different winners in the 450 class, and then we've also had a couple other guys sort of move into, obviously, Michael Mosman gets himself a win, but otherwise it's been the Christian Craig show in the 250s. There's become a dividing line in both the 250s and the 450s as far as the points go. Eli Tomac now has a little bit of a points lead. You've got basically this last weekend's podium in the top 3 for the championship series, and it's Eli, then it's Sexton, then it's Anderson, and then there's not a huge amount of gap. But if guys like Justin Barsha, if guys like Cooper Webb don't put in some really good performances, those top 3 are going to start inching away, and that's going to make a big difference as far as how competitive the 450 championship would be. And then when it comes to the 250s, it's Christian Craig at the very top, and then it's Michael Mosman and Hunter Lawrence, and then it's everybody else.
Yes.
Those 3 guys have been on the podium more than anybody else. In fact, I think they've basically almost been exclusive up there, aside from maybe one round where it wasn't that way. And it's so impressive to see. Like, I think, where is it, Oakland, that there was somebody else on the podium.
Yeah, no, I mean, this just shows me that everyone is just so competitive right now that the guys that are separating themselves, they are the elite of the elite of the elite. Like, they are to be able to do what they're doing is absolutely insane. I know everyone knows just how stacked the field is right now, and how like everyone's pretty much the top 15, top 18 are either race winners, title winners, or 450 championship winners. I think it just goes to show how much effort and how talented those guys who are separating themselves are from the rest of this pack, which is honestly incredible to see. I mean, yeah, it does happen. We've seen Ricky over the years, James, Chad, your Wyndhams, people like that, Zach Osborne, Tomac, you can throw in a bunch of names, Dungy. They separate themselves, but you really can't say that it was 15 people, 20 people deep of past winners or past champions. You know what I mean? Where that's the case now. And so, I mean, the fact that Christian Craig and, I'll throw Moseman in there, maybe like a 1C or D. And then
he's not quite there, but honestly,
he's getting there.
Speed.
Moseman's getting there. Like, he's incrementing, which is super cool to see, because a couple years ago we weren't really mentioning Moseman, and every year he's just been stepping it up.
Everyone keeps thinking this is his like second year in the class. I think this is his 4th year of Supercross.
Exactly.
And you usually don't see a guy go from being like a barely top 5 guy to a barely podium guy to now he has his first win a week ago. And he's a contender now, and he's really separated himself away from guys like Joe Shimoda and Vince Freezie. We got to talk about him taking Shimoda's tire to the head. That was ridiculous. As well as guys like Nate Thrasher. Like, there's been a separation, and Moseman's certainly part of that top 3.
Yes, definitely. And hats off to him. It's great to see the progression. Anytime anybody's progressing through the sport with this depth, we got to give him the golf clap. But no, I really think that this shows just how fast these guys are, and I think this just means we're in for better racing down the road, man. I'm really excited for it.
It really does.
And I'm pretty amped. I do want to talk about Freezie. Just getting bulldozed, man. I'm glad he's okay. Unlike most, like 90% of people out there, I really enjoy watching Vince Freezie ride. I think the guy is an absolute talent. I love that he brings some controversy. He brings another personality, brings another riding style.
Menace.
Brings that storyline with him. I do think he's a pretty nice guy when you talk to him, but man,
he is.
This guy is just absolutely amazing at starts. I think he's enjoying the 250 class, like just the way he rides and like the amount of effort he's putting forth. Granted, he's got to put a lot of effort because his bike isn't nearly as fast as his 450. It's probably a lot faster than my 450, but not his. The way that he's attacking and riding and racing, man, it looks like he's kind of rejuvenated a little bit. I definitely
question for you.
Yeah,
like he gets absolutely bulldozed by Joe Shimoda. Yeah. Amazing that Shimoda was able to get up and do as well as he did, all things considered. In fact, like 16 points on the night is actually basically like par for the course of how he's done so far this year, even with the crash. In fact, he's had a crash almost every race so far. But if Vince is able to race this weekend, I imagine he'll probably have some stitches in his tongue and probably still be seeing double. But if he gets a start, he can win one of these sprints, right?
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely, he can.
If you get Craig and maybe Moseman a little tied up in the back, along with it's
absolutely
Vince knows how to. He's used to riding 20 minutes plus 2 or whatever. He's used to a heavier bike. He's used to a rougher track. He's used to more seasoned riders. Right. He's used to more talented guys, and I say that because they've been a little bit more experienced than the 250 class riders. He's used to a lot higher. I want to say higher caliber, but it's a different, more aggressive, more brutal class. I will say they're a little bit more structured and not as scatterbrained and a little bit hair triggered like the 250 class. But I mean, those guys are absolute brutes. He's used to riding with those guys, and remember, if he can get a start, he can hold those guys up for a couple laps. So I think the 250 class, man, he's close. He could definitely get MCR a win if all the cards kind of fall into his favor a little bit. So again, I'm glad he's okay.
Honestly, I don't even think that anything needs to go his way in order for him to win one of those.
Oh, okay.
Like, I think there's an outside chance that obviously there needs to be a little bit of exterior help for him to get a main event win.
Yeah.
But one of those sprints, or whether you'd call it a main event at a Triple Crown, like, I think they're 10 minutes. Like, Vince Freeze, I think he's probably led 10 minutes of a 450 main, let alone 10 minutes of a 250 main.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And he's got the fitness. They talked about him losing like 25 pounds, which is incredible because he's always been a pretty lean guy to begin with.
Yeah.
So he lost some weight. He's very aggressive. Yeah, like you want to call it cross jumping. And honestly, Hunter Lawrence in the press conference says he wasn't cross jumping me. He's just taking his line, going into these corners. However you want to take that is your opinion. But with a great start, and that's honestly maybe the most important thing, or most important skill to have, aside from being good in the whoops, which he is not, is those starts. I think he can absolutely win one of the sprints during the Triple Crown events.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that is one of the Triple Crown events not a East-West shootout?
Oh, you got me stumped, huh?
I
think so. Atlanta,
like, because they both want to have two. Totally wrong. They're completely talking out my ass. But either way, just to put this whole this discussion to bed, I think Vince Freeze can win a race.
I would agree with that. I think a lot of people would agree with that, whether they want to or not.
I think Christian Craig has to go down sometime in that race.
Well, I mean, Christian's just so much better than everyone else in the class right now, racecraft wise.
Oh, he's a man among boys.
Yes, yeah. He
has a bigger lead over second than second has over third, and he has a bigger lead than third has over third has over fourth.
He's eclipsing him.
There's a bigger, there's a bigger gap between himself and the second place rider than there is between the second place rider, like anybody else in the points right now, including Seth Emaker, who's out for the rest of the series and is still somehow 10th in points. Yeah. So that's kind of goes without. I got a hockey game coming up. Awesome. I just got an email about that. I also got a Tinder match earlier.
Hey, attaboy. Okay, so before we get into the closing segments, I do want to bring up two privateers that I think have been absolutely crushing it. The first one has to be the Lone Ranger, the People's Champ, the 125 Assassin, Mr. Stank Dog, making it put into a main, making it out of a heat, and absolutely crushing it on a 125. Mind you, I know it's a modern 125, but you're going up against modern four strokes, which are absolute rocket ships on a modern SX track with some deep talent, and the guys making it happen. Dude, Brad, were you just overjoyed as a two-stroke guy? Were you just like crying tears of joy watching him qualify?
Well, this is near and dear to my heart. Two-stroke, I'm sitting with some Reverend Motor Oil, Reverend Motors two-stroke oil right on my desk here.
There you go.
First and foremost, if people haven't checked out the video that you did of the Stank Dog illustrating how awesome that bike that he has is, you need to check that out. It's an absolute beautiful piece of machinery.
Check out the video. We'll link it.
Yeah, link that video. But the thing's an absolute rocket ship. But just like the heart and soul of the guy who just loves the sport and loves to perform. Like, he, regardless of how he's doing in qualifying, he's rolling off the track, throttle pinned, hyping people up, getting people excited about motocross. And there's some people out there that might kind of scoff at it and be like, hey, like, that's like, he's not putting himself in the best position to win or ride or whatever. But you know what? He's having fun on two wheels, and that's really what we're in this we're in this for to begin with. So hats off to him. I have nothing but great things to say about Garrett Steinke, and great guy as well.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. Yeah, I had a blast filming that What the Pros Ride segment with him. We'll be putting those out every week, so stay tuned for some more. I also got to give a shout out to the homeboy Justin Belrod, aka Justin Rodbell, on that PRMX Kawasaki. Now, he's not, he will tell you himself, he is not a Supercross superstar. I think he really shines outdoors. But man, the way the guy has been riding lately, you would never know it, man. He looks really comfortable on that Cowie. He seems like he's really gelling and really feels comfortable running with some of these top guys in the top 10. And it's not a position that we saw from him last year. So I'm pretty stoked to see Rodbell continue on with that success and to continue to keep growing his name in the sport, man. I'm stoked on it. Really, really riding good.
Oh, 100%. He's one of the smoothest looking guys on the track. He's the bike, he can get the bike upside down. But like for a guy to just jump into a series, probably like not as practiced as you want it to be, and doing so, I believe he's on a Hunter Sales bike originally, the 85, dropped a few digits, put the 55 on there, and he's been showing out. Like the 2 times he's been out there, like I didn't expect him to immediately put him in the main, and he absolutely has. And his second main was even better than his last one. I think it's going to be a little bit tough for him to make it in again this weekend for the Triple Crown. But honestly, he gets good starts. So if he's able to, obviously he's in the fast 40. He has a good chance of making it in through the LCQ because they'll take the bat. Like I don't think he's going to be top 18 in qualifying, but I think he's going to win the LCQ. I think he's going to be in there, and then honestly, you could probably pencil him in for about a 15th place spot throughout the evening, and that's going to get him good points in not only Pulp MX Fantasy, but in the Champions Series as well.
Yeah, shout out to Rodbell for helping my Pulp team. Crushing it, buddy. Thank you.
Absolutely. Also, extra shout out to my entire team this last weekend, including Dominic Thury, that got me 271 points.
Oh my gosh, dude. All right, come get my ass whoops every week. So, Brad, it's that point of the show where I think everyone's been waiting for, and it is the coveted TCE Drip Check. Now, it's not going to be any surprise.
Drip Check!
Drip Check? I don't think it's going to be any surprise to anyone, but I got to go with some Alpine Star guys for this past round. And I'll get into to San Diego a little bit, but I have to say, man, go ahead.
I need your opinion, though.
Yes.
What was your thoughts on having all 3 of their riders in the San Diego Chargers gear? Because I think that was a faux pas.
Yeah, I don't
like. It looked good on Anderson,
yes.
And it also looked good on Chase, the red bike and whatnot.
Yeah,
I would have liked to see them go with a military theme because it was military appreciation, and they went like football team that doesn't play there anymore appreciation.
Yeah.
But yeah, all 3 guys was a weird move.
But
Alpine Star so far as like I love my Fox stuff. You know I love my Fox stuff. But Alpine Star has set the curve so far. They are winning the drippiness.
So I will say this past weekend, yes, I will give it to Alpine Star. The way that Tomac kit with like the tan and like the white, the red, the blue, that just looked And then you had Anderson's the green on pink, the give me watermelon vibes. Shut up, Brad. I thought it was awesome. It looked super, super cool. It looked awesome. That stood out. I will say last weekend's the military appreciation, the FXR kit with the pink, the blue, the black, the white, man, that broke my heart to see that. I mean, that was the coolest setup that I've seen in a long time. I thought that was pretty rad. So I will give it to all the FXR guys that was rocking that. Got to give it extra points to Justin Starling, who matched his bike to it.
Wait, you thought that cotton candy colored camo was a good look?
I thought it was rad, dude. I thought it was the
raddest. We're gonna differ on that take.
I will take that. I will stand on that mountain. That was the sickest setup.
That was military appreciation. If the war is happening in Candyland,
no, dude, it was so cool because it had FXR signature. It stood out. It was bright, but still had the camo going. I dug it, dude. I dug it.
Okay, well, that's fine. Totally understand.
The Candyland Wars.
Not my taste, honestly. There wasn't a gear that really did a fantastic job. I think my favorite, I would have liked to see maybe a little like a digital camo, or maybe something like throwback to like obviously like San Diego, very well known for like the Air Force that's there. Maybe some flight suit sort of look, or maybe obviously the Navy is very like apparent there as well. I would have loved to see maybe like kind of a throwback to like a naval officer of some sort, or maybe an aircraft carrier.
I'll give you that.
That would have been cool. That's sort of what Honda ended up doing with the motif of the bike. But I think the team that did the best, I'd have to probably say was Team Solitaire with the Liat guys with the bike. They did a fantastic job with that.
That tribute was
those guys
awesome.
have been setting the curve nonstop. But you'd have to turn the clocks back. I think it's 2 years minimum to when the Fly guys came out with a green army fatigue colored jersey with, I think it was either a black or like kind of like a digital camo pant. I think that was one of the nicest looking sort of throwback to the appreciation and sacrifice of the men of arms to go with the official colors. I'm not gonna lie, like the gear you're talking about has its place.
Yes,
but I don't love it for military appreciation. That's all.
Okay, I can see that.
It has its place in a war happening on Candyland, but not at San Diego Supercross when they're giving the salute to the men in uniform.
I got you. Okay, so I see where you're coming from. But I will say this past weekend,
I'm also like old man yells at clouds. So like,
okay, yeah, gotcha.
You have to like. I'm wearing a Fox T-shirt that has the logo from their
70s.
This is 1973, off of their catalog.
Bless you.
So yeah, like or no, actually no, this is 78.
Gotcha. Yeah, honestly, man, I don't know. I gotta give it up to the Alpine Star guys this past weekend. Loved it. Thought it was the sickest look in a while.
And then all three of them put it on the podium. Like really?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was just rad. It was just super rad to see that. I do want to get into our next segment, the TCE Power Rankings. I want to hear. Let's just do the 250s only. Let's leave the 450s for this next one. But who do you have for your top three for this next round coming up in Glendale this weekend? Top 3 250.
All right, coming into this next round, I'm going to give you my top three, and then I'm going to tell you a guy who needs to have a good weekend more than anybody else.
Gotcha.
I'm going to go number one. It's got to be Christian Craig. If he gets his starts, it's going to be a boring night.
Yep.
He's going to absolutely drop a bomb on those guys. Yeah. He's faster than them. He's stronger than them.
Yep.
At the press conferences, it literally looks like somebody's dad sitting between a couple of kids. Seriously, it's like he's so mature. His racecraft is superior. His speed. And he's had the bike skills for a lot of years now. It's injuries is the reason why he's not in the 450 class right now, not speed.
Yes.
And then you have, I think, your second fastest guy of the championship so far, and that's why he's so frustrated, is, of course, Hunter Lawrence. I think he has a good chance of getting his first win of the season this weekend in Phoenix, but I still put him in the second spot. Yep. And then third, Michael Mosiman. He's won a race so far this year. He's had decent starts, but also, like, if he doesn't get a good start, he's going to have a hard time getting it into the top three in those short races. Somebody who needs a huge kick in the ass. He needs a get-right day. Somebody, maybe he needs a pat on the back, or somebody buy this guy a Slurpee or something like that. Garrett Marchbanks, the 35 in your program. He wore your favorite color gear in San Diego, and he has had two of the most butt-ugly weekends that a professional motocross racer can have. Like, not putting in, having to leave one of the main events because of a rad hose, and then straight up not making the main event. A guy who was a pro circuit, essentially a factory rider in the 250 class.
Won a race.
That's shades of Chris Aldridge.
Honestly, I feel for him because you know what potential he has. Dude won a freaking race, man. He's super fast, super quick. That bike is phenomenal. The club guys do a great job for him.
He could be on the podium every weekend.
Dude, it's such a bummer seeing because he's frustrated. You can see it. You can see it in his face. Like he wants that to be back where he was, and I think he can. I definitely think he can. It's just one thing after the other every weekend that's just like been hampering him, man. I feel for him. So, Garrett Marchbanks, we're rooting for you. We're in your corner, dude. Come up, step up for us. We want to see you put it up there and have some good rides. I'm going to give you mine, and it's going to be obviously Christian Craig. The guy can do no wrong in my eyes. I'm going to go with Mosiman second. I think he just elevated himself to be that next guy. And once Christian Craig is out of the fold, Bozeman is just, he's poised, man. He's right there. For third spot, I gotta say Hunter Lawrence.
I think it's Rider D time by then, but whatever.
I gotta say it's Hunter Lawrence for me for third spot. I like him. I like what he's bringing to the table. I just think he's just a hair off of Moseman when it comes down to it, going neck and neck. So there's our power rankings. Brad, you've got something cool happening right now. You've got almost like a YZ extravaganza, a Christmas, if you will, for a lot of us who are in a budget right now. Dude, tell us a little bit about that cool thing you've got partnered up with Yamaha, man.
All right. Well, I have partnered with Yamaha Canada, and in hopes to put a brand new 2022 YZ252 stroke into the garage of somebody who really needs one, but doesn't have the means to just go out and grab one. Go to your local dealer. Maybe your local dealer's sold out. Maybe it would be exorbitant cost to have it shipped to you. Yeah. That is all solved by entering my raffle. Hopefully, you'll put the link below so that people can go there and buy themselves some raffle tickets. A single raffle ticket will cost you $20. But if you'd like to be entered in for the additional prizes, of which there are currently 10, including a Jeremy McGrath jersey, we have 10 total prizes. We have a full set of gear from Fox Racing. We have an exhaust system from FMF, Guts seat cover, Phoenix handlebars, bars, grips, and the tie wire as well. It's kind of a whole kit. We've got the jerseys from Team Solitaire. Both guys are putting jerseys in. We've got a 204 skate shop apparel kit. We've got a Get Shit Done apparel kit, as well as some free coffee, as well as we have the Jeremy McGrath jersey. This is going to be amazing. You can get 3 tickets for $50, and if you want to be entered for all the prizes, you want to get 10 tickets, $120, $12 a ticket. You could have a bike in your garage, and then you could also be head to toe in some of the latest threads. I hope people take me up on it. I'm really excited to put this out. It's available on bigamxradio.com, as well as the link should be below unless you don't put it there. I'm really excited about this. This is going to be so much fun. We're going to be selling raffle tickets for the next little while. Hopefully they all sell out, and once they're all gone, then we're going to pull a winner, and somebody somewhere in this world is going to have a bike in their garage. Doesn't matter if you live in Ireland or Australia or the States or here in Winnipeg. If you buy a raffle ticket, I will find a way to get this bike to you. And I've already been in contact with dealers in America. I have dealers here in Canada, Manitoba specifically as well. I've talked to European dealers as well as Yamaha UK. And then I've also talked to an Australian distributor as well for Yamaha. So this thing can go absolutely anywhere. I will work with your local dealer to make sure you get a bike. BigMXRadio.com is where you enter the raffle. 1 ticket is $20, 3 tickets $50. If you want to get all in on all 10 prizes, $120 for your troubles. I hope people enter.
It's going to be awesome. That is such a cool giveaway. The fact that you've got so many chances to win a prize with the grand prize bringing a bike. You can't miss that.
And if you don't win the bike, you could win something else.
Something else that's freaking awesome.
Literally, there's not a single prize that wouldn't be like you're getting something out of it. Like there's not a single prize that's less than what a ticket costs. And exactly. Obviously the grand prize being the bike. So all the money that's getting raised is going to go towards next year's prizes. We're hoping to give away 2 bikes. So that would be fantastic. A 250F and a 252 stroke would be my my goal with that. And then as well as we'll have some more prizes with that as well. And also some of the additional funds will go towards funding some Big MX Radio projects that we've got along the way. So support the podcast, support shows like this, and we'll keep making it happen.
Awesome. Love to hear it. And don't forget, guys, if you want to go behind the scenes with your favorite racers, get a chance to be immersed in the sport like you've never imagined possible, and possibly land your dream gig in the sport that we all love, check out thecollectivexp.com, at thecollectivex on Instagram. We can get you hooked up, working for a pro team, getting hands-on experience that can lead you to a career helping people like Adam Cianciarillo, like some of our interns are doing, or maybe even one James Stewart, which our Cole Beach, our past intern is doing currently.
You could end up being a crew chief
one
of the top
like
teams
Brendan.
in sport.
Exactly.
Brendan Mazika,
all
hello?
of our interns are doing so many incredible things in the sport, and you can be one of them. Check out thecollectivexp.com, get yourself signed up, and kickstart your career in motocross today. Brad, this was awesome. This was awesome. We're definitely going to do this again after this weekend's race. We got to have you on the live watch party, which don't forget, we do those just about every weekend for the races that we are not at currently, which we're going to do this weekend for Glendale. We got to have you on, Brad. Continue to keep crushing it. If people want to hear more about you, find out where you are, Brad, where can we go, man?
BigMXRadio.com. That's where you're going to find all of my content. As far as podcasts go, we've got one coming out tomorrow with Josh Woods, as well as we're also going to be bringing on motocross legend Gary Semix as well. And we've got a couple of more podcasts coming down the way in the next little while, as well as some bonus content. We're dropping this Thursday a complete team podcast, the Team Somnium guys. We've got Briley, who is sort of team manager. She's the mover and shaker and kind of like all the logistical things when it comes to Team Somnium, and also two of their flagship riders, of course, Addison Emery and the great David Pulley. So be looking for that as well here on Big MX Radio.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit a like, leave us a comment, let us know what you think, if you want us to cover anything in the next Foul Plugs Moto show, and we will see you on the next one. Take care, Brad.